So, guys, I've got a question for you. Are Spurs a shower or a grower?
Good question, actually.
We're a grower.
Why?
We have to be a grower. Because we don't want to be a big cock yet.
Top of the
If we're a
league,
big cock, then
and we're not a big cock.
yeah, we start throwing that about, people are just going to hate us more.
There's a massive cock on the top of our stadium, by the way. I just want to remind you of that. So
It is huge.
yeah, it's a huge one.
And Don Bello joke, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say there was one coming there. But I think that's a bit later on.
Perch, you wanted to say something. You did a big which I'm not going to edit out.
I don't know yet.
There's another one.
I'm not sure is the answer. I'm not sure yet. Undecided. I don't know if
question.
I don't know if we're at the moment where we've stuffed socks down the pants. I'm not sure if that's what it is yet.
No, we're not that sort of club.
I don't know at the moment.
Have you not ever done that? I mean, Perchy, it sounds like you're talking from experience.
I'm not actually talking from experience. I did not know this is how we were going to start the show, but no, I have not done that. No.
Right, John's being awfully quiet with his new missile guidance chip connected to his mic.
I would say we're a grower. We got to be a grower. If we're a shower, we would be. I mean, we'd be the Man City. We'd be the big clubs, right? We're the grower. We've got to be. Too much is expected of us if we're the shower. You know, you get stage fright. You have to be ready to perform. I mean, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're the grower.
So if Spurs are a guy and they've taken home a bird or a guy, they've been eyeing up this person at a club. I don't know where I'm going with this question, so help me out. And we've been eyeing up this person at a club, and we really want to get on with this person tonight. And we take them home, and they're all up for it as well. Obviously, it's consensual. Don't want us to get cancelled. Not after 17 shows in.
Unbelievable.
It's not. It's reality. Just because you've never done it, it's fine. All right, you know, in your Barcelona little hub. So we've taken them home, and they're waiting. It must have happened to you guys, right? You're there, and she goes onto the bed, and you can tell where she's looking. It's like, oh shit, what do I do? What do you do in this situation? Because you're a grower at this point, and there's nothing to really grow about at the moment because you just sat on the bed looking at your nether region. So what is it you do? Ross, over to you, mate. You're excited today for obvious reasons, which we'll get into later.
Oh, God. This is not where I thought we'd be going first few things.
I did say in the running order that I will be asking a question. Well, I've asked a few, but...
You always ask questions. It didn't stipulate what type. Haven't been able to go on the internet to do decent,
When you connected,
basically
you had 1 minute. You had Pornhub on when you connected, which you openly admitted to.
No, I didn't.
And do you want me to replay it?
So we've got someone in our, like I say, flax. That's what I live in. And I don't know. We still got to be just go with the flow. Just go with the Ange flow. Always ask yourself, what would Ange do?
So what you're telling me is that when you've got this really beautiful woman who you've wanted to get on with all night, is the first thing you do is think about a big, hairy Greek Australian guy?
Always.
Right,
Especially
that's the right
if it's
answer.
Ange.
Yeah, I mean, that as I said, that is the right answer. So I'll tell you what, guys, let's get right into it. Crystal Palace. Friday night. It was one of those games where you think, if we do it, not only do we go 5 points clear, but then we've got a great weekend to look forward to. So, Johnny, can I call you Johnny? I just
sure,
have.
why not? Do it.
What did you think about the game? I mean, for the first time, all of us were taking part in the group. I mean, that's the celebrity amongst us only commented twice, and I think it was just about Richarlison. But yeah, John, what did you?
Celebrity? Was that a dig at me there?
Well, you're the first one who spoke up, so you tell me.
Oh, but you called me a celeb. I was actually busy, unfortunately, during the game. I had to do a watch along for the game, so I was slightly busy.
Right,
had to do a watch along. Had to.
Yeah,
Were you?
is probably the right terminology.
You weren't with other rival fans doing it, were you?
No.
Oh, good. So we're
All Tottenham this time, don't you worry.
well done. So, John, what did you think, mate, about the game in general?
I thought it was good. I didn't have the first half was, I would say, it's relatively flat. I thought kind of underperformed. They obviously stepped it up in the second. Sonny's second goal. Oh my God, I think I've made love to that 4 or 5 times. I wish I could bottle it just to rub it all over my body and just pleasure myself to it constantly. It was such a beautiful lead up.
Damn,
Beautiful
John.
goal.
I'm not stopping. Yeah, I'm not stopping you. Go ahead, mate. Each to their own.
Oh man, I probably should stop talking about it, or else I'm gonna have to excuse myself, or at least borrow Ross's search history. It's just so beautiful.
His search history isn't. I can promise you, it's not. But it was, right. What a goal! What a goal that was.
I saw a comparison between a Man City goal and that goal, and they were almost identical. Just the lead up. I think Johnson just led it the whole way, and Sonny's strike. I mean, it was it was a lot. It was very beautiful, gorgeous. Talk about that standing in your bedroom wanting to pleasure you. That's what we need to talk about. Not the woman. The woman we get choked up about, but that goal, bar none, we would be stiff as a board, hard as a nail, ready to rock.
Oh, I fucking love you. Perchy, what did you think, mate? Up until that goal.
Wow. Do you want me to be honest?
Always.
I thought we were awful in the first half. I thought it was one of the worst halves of football under Postecoglou in that first half. I thought we were really poor. We got away with it in a sense because Palace just. I think we could be playing till now and they wouldn't be able to score a goal. I mean, yeah, he did score, but I thought that first half that we weren't great. Second half, we got back into the game. Got a huge slice of luck from a bit of poor defending from no goal. That second goal, I agree, really, really good bit of goal. Probably the only great part of that game, really. And then we go and let a bit of poor defending for the second for their goal right in the death that made it a little bit tenser than it probably should have been. I think 2-0 was what I predicted. I thought it was going to finish that way. Yeah, got 3 points, good result in that sense. But I think we need to play a lot better than that.
Right, so let me ask you a question. If that ball for our first goal, the own goal, hadn't gone to Ward and had gone to Richarlison, what do you think would have happened?
Oh no! I mean, we're massively lucky that it didn't go to Richarlison. No, listen, Richarlison can't score 2-yard tap-ins. I don't care. He's awful. Listen, look at the difference it made when he got him off the pitch and he brought on Brennan Johnson. Offered so much more. Brennan Johnson offered more than Richarlison did in the space of 10, 15 minutes, or was it 20 minutes he was on the pitch, than Richarlison has done all season. I mean, it says it all right. I thought Johnson had energy, running at defenders, caused a nuisance, and him being that nuisance created that second goal, which was brilliant. And he just said everything positive that he showed is exactly why he has to be in the team against Chelsea, which we'll probably get into a bit later. But everything about Brennan Johnson when he came on the pitch was exactly what we needed, a spark of energy.
On the pinch, really. After the questions, the questions we started this pod off on. I tell you what, we don't want to upset Ross, because I know Ross that we will support him. Apart from Perchy, who's a celebrity, so he doesn't have to support him. But we will support Richarlison because he's a Spurs player. But I tell you what, for me. But can I let me just finish this, right? 1 minute. He does look like the odd man out. And if you can refute that, please go ahead.
Me, no, I can't. The good thing about it is, with Richarlison, at least he works his bollocks off, and he doesn't just quit.
I'm not having that.
I know. I'd rather have him doing that than say someone who just wasn't interested. At least he gives a shit. And because we've had so many, and some of them are on loan, being asked to leave and come back in January, and we've had them players before. I'm not saying that he's brilliant. or exciting or anything like that. But at least he's fucking trying.
But isn't that the bare minimum though?
Yeah, but at least, but as I said, we've had players before that don't even do that.
I get your point, but it's just isn't the prerequisite for a player to work hard? Like that should be the minimum we expect.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, you look at the Man U team and Jesus, I just think he's just not what this team needs. In terms of a wide left forward, it's more of Brennan Johnson, which is pace, directness. But if we do stick him on the bench, which he does deserve, if he can just come on, because we're going to need him unless we get somebody in January when Sonny goes to the Asian Cup. So hopefully, if we can play him more in the centre, but then he did struggle there, so. I don't know. We probably do need to get somebody else in, but I think we've got bigger problems if we lose either Mickey or Romero at the minute. So Richarlison isn't the biggest problem at the club. If he is, then we're doing absolutely fantastic, which we are. So he's not as big a deal as I think we've had with other players. And we've got to be making sure that Brennan Johnson can come back in fully fit. We don't want his hamstring to ping or anything like that, because that's what's happened with Sessegnon. So yeah, I don't think Richie needs the kicking he's getting. I understand that he should be doing a lot better. I'm sure he knows it as well. So I've got a lot of time for him because he's not a dick, basically.
This show's all about dicks. Have you noticed? He's not. But you know what? When he did that, the only way I can describe it was some sort of no-look pass to no one because it went off. Did you see that when he was on the touchline?
Yeah,
and the ball came to him, and I don't know what he was doing. So I don't know where he was looking.
Jaymes, you took the words out of my mouth. I don't know what he does. Period. I don't see it.
So what I did, I said it on the group chat with you guys, was I wanted to count how many times he loses the ball, and it's quite scary. So for the first, he had 4 touches in which they were possible passes to another player, another Spurs player. The first 3 were to a Crystal Palace player. Then he made 2 passes to a Spurs player, and then the next 4 were either off or to another Crystal Palace player. And you see the problem with that is whether or not he tries hard, we're a team that has to try and keep possession. And if I'm seeing this, I promise you Postecoglou's seeing it. And I think there's only a matter of time before he's dropped. And I think that will be the game against Chelsea, which we'll get into in a bit. Thing is, before we stop talking about Palace, I was furious that they scored a goal.
It was handball.
Yeah, it was. 100% was it handball?
No, not for me. Not for
Why?
me.
Hold on a minute. Ross, one minute. Ross, have you... One minute, mate. Ross, have you eaten? This is your time to order. Go on, Perch. Over to you, mate.
Put the kettle on, guys.
No, it's not a rant in a sense. For me, it wasn't. I always try to be as balanced as I can when I see those decisions. I always try and flip it. If someone's denied a goal like that, we'd have all gone apoplectic. What a goal, by the way! Like absolute quality. I think we're now at a stage when it comes to football where we're disallowing anything. Like I mean, for me, I can't conclusively say it's his arm there. I mean, you could in some angles it looked, some it didn't. I just sit there and go, Pedro. The question I was annoyed at Pedro Porro because I was sitting there going, the defending for that was horrendous. By the way, I thought he was awful for that goal. Yeah, not for me. If my argument will always be, if that was Son down the other end of the pitch, we'd all be going, why we're now disallowing goals like that? Like, nah, not for me.
I can't blame Porro for that because he was up against Ayew, who's not a professional footballer. I don't know what he is.
He's just too small.
I know, but you don't then expect that from someone who hasn't got a clue. Although I did say many times he is my hero, because if he can make it as a professional footballer, then it means I can. And
yeah, I was gonna say, I did say that you did slag off Jordan Ayew, and then he scored. I think it's poetic justice. Unfortunately, this is why you can't do it. The football gods were on us then, when him scoring.
Well, I don't really think so, because two things. Number one,
it was handball anyway. So
well, yeah, I mean, two things. Number one, he's not a poet, and number two is, if you really believe that me sat in Mauritius in a shithole of a bar watching that game has any influence over Jordan Ayew scoring, then then I tell you what. You tell me what the next lottery numbers should be, and I'll write them down in the same bar on the wall in the toilet of that Mauritius shithole, and let's hope that we get something out of it, because it's not how it works, mate. I promise you.
No. I know it doesn't. I'm being facetious for a reason, of course.
I think we found James's trigger.
No, I just whenever someone says, like, honestly, there are people that I work with that say the same thing, nothing to do with football, where it's like, oh, don't say that, James, because if you say it, then it won't happen. And then what I will then do is I'll get my developers to create a website based around that phrase, and then plaster it across the world, because just to prove a point, because it doesn't work like that. Right? I've clearly bored.
I've just ordered a kebab, because when James rants, I order a kebab.
He barely rants.
Are you being racist?
Yeah, but he did it then. That's why I don't. That's why I don't order
Do you order a kebab because I'm half Greek? Is that what it is?
No.
We got to let poor John speak.
Yeah, when I rant, I guess he orders a cheeseburger then.
What the fuck does he order when I rant? I don't rant, but what'd you order? Like fish and chips?
There you go.
I love it. The one thing living in Spain, the one thing I do miss is a good fish and chips. I do, honest on that one.
Guess what I had last night then?
Fish and chips.
Cod. Before you get any ideas, James.
Haddock for me, but yeah.
No.
They taste the same. Haddock cod. It's
bit
white.
Meatier though, I feel haddock.
Oh, is it really meatier?
Little bit meatier.
Oh, really?
He likes meaty cod.
Is it a bit? Is it a bit salty?
No, not always. It depends.
So, John, listen, mate.
Call it Mr. Fish and Chips.
John, you fixed your mic, which is nice, but you're not really talking. Whose washing machine is that?
Not mine.
I know it's not. I know it's not yours, because in America they don't sound like that. Someone's got a washing machine on. What have you decided to wash tonight, Ross?
My towels, because I cleaned my washing machine earlier on, and I thought, well, let's get the towels in, boys.
So, John, what did you think? What did you think of the game, other than you wanting to pleasure yourself over Son's goal? Anything else that tickled your fancy?
I agree with Ross's take on Richarlison. He should start from the bench. Perchy's a little harsh on him. I mean, the dude does play with his heart. It was hysterical watching him. I think it was from Van de Ven when he passed it. And was it a no look? I don't know what the hell it was, but it was. I laughed very hard when it went right out of bounds. It was phenomenally funny. I just don't know what we do from here with him. Again, we don't have the backup players to just dump him right away. I don't even know if we have the backup players to dump him in January, because Sonny's going to be out in the Asia Cup. So I don't know. Richarlison's a tricky one, and managing the squad's even trickier too, because we just don't have the heads like Man City has, or even Arsenal has, or Liverpool. So I think in the future, we've had a bit of luck, and we'll see where we go from here.
All right, John, we'll stay with you, right? Because we're going to now talk about your favourite player, 10 guys, and Ndombele. You shared something on the group. Is it true, by the way? Is it fact?
Let's go with it. I saw it on Reddit. I believe in it.
Oh, it must be. It must be true then. Do you want to tell everyone what it is that you shared with us?
That he. Let me get to it here. Where the fuck did it go? They have lost patience with him, because he has no a lack of professionalism, and he has in his attitude. He's overweight by 6 kilos when he arrived, and he still cannot resolve the desired level. There was some other talk about him sneaky. He was found with some snuck in food in his house. My guess is they probably have him on a pretty strict regimen, and now he's sneaking.
It's always great when we lose the American.
I was going to say, where's he gone? Bless him.
I thought he went pause for dramatic effect then.
So did I.
Do you know what? Just to pick up, do you know who I was more disappointed in the other night? Was Ben Davies, because he just looked like he'd never played football in his life. Bless him. And I thought he'd be really suited in that inverted fullback role. Not as good as Udogie, I know, but he just looked lost. It's just like, mate, surely you just cannot, because we bought him as a left back, wasn't he?
Yeah,
but he used to.
It's different, isn't it? Like the pace of the
game I know.
Now, like he is not there.
But you know,
just to sort of, I was just going to say, just to sort of carry on the sort of Ndombele conversation that whilst John is sorting his microphone out. I've been saying to get rid of this player for absolutely, it feels like forever, by the way. Like it feels like it, and it's great now sitting back when everyone told me what 3 years ago, saying, "Oh, give him a chance, he'll be fine." Even had it people, by the way, this summer going, "Oh, Andrew will fix this guy." No, he won't. This guy doesn't care, and every football club he's gone to, they don't want this guy, and there will be a party when he leaves this football club. I'll be celebrating like crazy. The absolute disrespect that this man has had, 200 grand a week, and he can't even.
It's more than 200 grand a week, mate. It's more.
Isn't it like 10 million a year, isn't it?
Yeah. He's 10 million a year. And the worst thing about it, Perch, is that if there is a party, there won't be anything to serve at the party. The guy would have fucking eaten it all. But the thing is, right? Let me tell you a bit of. Well, it's not a secret, because I was telling everyone at the meeting pub when we had signed him. I've got a friend who's a massive French football fan. He's in France. He is a Cypriot, and he told me don't get hyped up about this guy, because he's got all the talent in the world, but he has zero application. And he said, just trust me, just be the first one to say that you're not happy with him signing. And so I did, I said it. And everyone was like, "Oh, shut up, Jaymes, what are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah." I am sat there with such a grin right now. I mean, I'm not. I want him to do well. I want every Spurs player to do well. But it was, when you hear it from French fans who are saying, no, he's dog shit. He cannot apply himself at all. And the worst thing about it is that he doesn't want to. And to earn that much money, what a mistake from our club.
Yeah.
Do you know what pissed me off really? Go on, Perch.
No, I was just going one point. You know when you say I want every Spurs player to do well? I don't. I actually don't want this guy to do well. I want this guy out of the football club as quick as possible, so he's not associated with this football club anymore. I'm not one of these like that isn't like, I'm not really like this normally, but he's one of those players I just can't stand. You have the honour and the privilege to wear the badge of our football club, and you show this football club with so much disrespect. No, I don't want you to do well. I want you out of this football club as quick as possible.
Yeah, but you need to turn that on its head, mate. So you've just said you have the honour and the privilege of playing for our football club, and we have the honour and the privilege of supporting these players. And so I think that we have that duty of care to support them. The thing is, he has shown now consistently. Well, now he has shown enough to how many managers? I mean, let's count them. Poch, he wasn't really 100%. He wasn't 100% start with Poch, because Poch could see it. That shit. What have we done here?
Poch's fault though,
right? Well, was it? I don't know. I don't think Poch actually signed the contract. Well, we don't 100% know, do we?
No, because I thought Poch.
But a lot of talk has come out of it that against the club's thoughts, Pochettino wanted this guy. I'm just saying, from a lot of people close to the club. I'm not, as I said, you're right, not 100%. We can't guarantee any of that, but A lot of people I know that are close to it said that no, the club didn't want this guy, but Pochettino did, and the club wanted to back them, like the manager in a sense. Just saying.
Ross, you wanted to drop some ITK?
I think when it comes to signings, especially with Poch, and it seems to be happening again at Chelsea, and this is going to sound really harsh because what he did for the club was beautiful, and I will always love him for that. I think he's spineless when it comes to signings because it happened at PSG, and you know Messi comes in, which you know who's going to turn down Messi, but all these signings coming in, and then at Chelsea it's happening again. I just get the feeling that the guy just, I don't know, because since Ange's come in, all the signings that have come in, he's spoken to them personally, which isn't a new thing because Sir Alex used to do it as well. He used to go by what the parents were like of the player. But I don't know, with Poch and this on Dembele thing, I think and what pissed me off the most is people comparing him to Dembele. Love Dembele. Miss him.
The guy
broke my heart.
The guy's awful. The guy is awful.
But comparing Ndombele to Moussa Dembele was just outrageous, and I thought
the guy's got a weird cult following that I just
really does, yeah.
I've noticed it as well, and I've noticed it with Spurs players that they're always a cult following for really, really crap football players. Notice that. You don't normally get them. The only exception for a very, very good one is Son, but that's slightly different because of being South Korean means he's got a country that supports him, but that's slightly different. But normally it's very crap players that seem to have a cult following on social media.
Yeah, like Ronaldo.
But he really did go to the wrong country if he was looking to lose weight. By the way, John, is everything all right in the colonies?
I think so. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Fantastic. Yeah. I apologize. I want to throw this new microphone that I got against the wall and see how fast I can break it.
Oh, we thought you went off to pleasure yourself.
No, not to Ndebele. No, I don't think so. I mean, although we were talking about cheeseburgers and such, so I do find some excitement.
Maybe that's what whacking the mic against the wall means over there.
Yeah, I was busy whacking the mic against the wall. So where did I leave off? What did you guys hear? I heard most of you guys arguing, and did I hear correctly that Poch was the one who originally wanted him?
No,
we don't know if that's true. We don't know if
try and
that's true.
Sell him back to Chelsea then, since they fucking buy every player in the goddamn world. Give him back to Chelsea. Jesus Christ.
He's a year too old. That's the problem. So they don't sign players over 25. Which can you imagine if they had signed him? Wow. But yeah, so he's going to be our problem again. And this is
only for 18 months. His contract ends in 2025, so it's not long yet, guys.
I mean, they just got to. Levy's got to do a masterstroke and just pay him off somehow. Get him the fuck out. He's such a headache.
But do you know what the problem is? I was talking about this in the summer, and everyone was just going, just buy him out. That's what he wants, right? His agent is obviously telling this guy, just sit tight. Just sit tight. They've got to make a decision. They'll have to pay you off. Just say you could just turn up every day, train, do whatever they tell you to do. Just do nothing. And that's what's happening right there. And by the way, that's not just him, that's several others, but he's quite a high profile one on the sense of the value of the money that he's on at the moment. Because he knows and his agent knows he will not get 200 grand a week anywhere, right? So sit tight and we'll just pay him. And that problem with us as a club, it hits our books immediately if we pay him off, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not a clause in his contract to say if you can't, squeeze into a 36 waist pants, we don't have to pay you. I don't know. It seems like there's got to be a clause somewhere that we would make.
Not when you put a man on a 6-year contract at 200 or whatever it was, a grand a week.
I don't know. So I'm with John on this. I've got a feeling that what would probably happen is the club would say, listen, we're going to pay you off if we owe you, what month are we in, November, plus the whole of 2024. So it's 18 months, right? So that's 15 million pounds, right? So 15 million pounds basic, that's gross, right? So before we deduct any tax, that's 15 million pounds that we owe you. But what we're going to do is, because you have consistently proven over the course of whatever, we are going to lower that to this price. You can sue us if you want. You can take us to the PFA, but this is what we're going with. And I'm sure that if the club are going to go down this route and offer him, let's say, 5 million, which is 5 million too much in my opinion, that what will happen is they would have got their ducks in a row before they offer him any sort of compensation.
Does he? He doesn't have to accept.
Can't you speak to Donna?
Right?
No. Well, 1 minute. If the club, legally speaking, the club can pay up his contract, but then what they can do is they can say we're paying up to this point due to, and then reel off a long list of the reasons why they're not going to pay him the full 15 million.
Do you know how much this man has cost this football club collectively? It's terrifying actually when you know the figures.
It's terrifying because of the way the world is in right now, the state the world's in. You got people.
£200 million.
Oh God, and the fact that people can't even afford to turn their heating on. Do you know what I mean? And we've got this guy who's an absolute clown, has taken 1/5 of $1 billion away.
I think it's a bit strong to blame him for the crisis in the UK, but I see what you mean.
I'm not blaming him.
It's contextual, isn't it? That's.
I'll tell you what. Fuck him. It's his fault. I tell you what. It's not the Tories' fault. It's not anyone else's fault. I blame him for Israel, and I blame him for Taiwan as well, for absolutely everything. Ndombele, fuck off. Right? I don't know. I mean, I do know. Fuck off. What's next on the running order, by the way?
I don't know. That took a turn I didn't see going down.
Right. So the next thing on the running order is Poch. Now I heard your traitorous ass, Ross, on Spooky's podcast, and the reason I call you a traitor.
Where did you get me from?
I know, but you know what? I paid market price, and you accepted the 6-year contract. It was nowhere like anywhere near in Ndombele's contract, but you accepted it and you joined. But you spoke quite extensively about Poch. Now I want to give you a bit of an analogy here, right? And this is see what I do is, unfortunately, I talk before the synapses in my brain have completely finished muddling around. So let's just see what comes out. You've gone out with a girl, and at the time she was just what you needed because you were in an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, and you found someone who was a real keeper, and you were together for a few years. Then what happened was you couldn't get her some of the things that she wanted, and you had promised her, you'd got her a new house. She then said, I want new furniture. And you said, listen, we have to go and shop at IKEA. And she says, but I like Bow Concept, I like Harrods. And it's like, well, I can't really afford that. This big house that I got you. And then she says, I didn't want the big house. And it's like, well, I know you didn't. But you know what, for our kids and for the future generations of us, we needed this big house. And she argues with you, and then you want to go to IKEA and you point out a few different bits of furniture, and she's not having any of it. Then things go sour, and they start to get a little bit toxic, and you do the one thing that you couldn't conceive doing, which is ending the relationship. Anyway, you've then gone on to a few other toxic relationships. Anyone listening to this who's done that, I mean, I've done it before, so I think you know where I'm going with this.
You've missed out a chunk, though.
Oh no, not yet.
She was flirting with a couple of.
I'm about to get onto that. That bit. Yeah. Okay. So you did notice her flirt and a little bit with someone up north. You don't really care about Northerners, but
a little bit.
Yeah.
She was basically flashing her tits at them.
Well, okay. I mean, her tits were a bit fat, but it's fine. I mean, she was flashing them. Everything's fine. Anyway, you get on with it. The breakup happens. You go into a few toxic relationships to the point where one of them blames you for everything. And back in March, and it's like, wow, this has to be over. And then you think, right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to see if I can find someone who isn't toxic and doesn't hurt me anymore, and who likes to, he likes to do things my way. They know how I like to behave, how I like to be, and I need someone like that in my life. Then all of a sudden, her mates let you know that, we're getting vibes that she's interested in coming back. And you're like, really? Yeah, but, I don't really want to go back. I've been there, I've done that. I love her, I respect her and everything, but I don't want to go back. And then she hears this, not firsthand, not through you, and she goes and shackles up with someone who, before they go to sleep every night, screams out, "I hate," and then they blurt out your name. And this is who she's shackled up with. And this person basically says, "Listen, I'm going to give you the moon and the stars. Everything that I ever get you will be over an 8-year duration, and it can't be too old." And you know, she's a bit confused at that, but she goes with it, knowing your history with this person. What are you going to do when she turns up and knocks at your door? How are you going to react?
I don't think it's the person that is shouting they hate us. It's the person's kids who are shouting they hate us. I think that's where it's from. I mean, I don't think Todd Bowley or whatever his bloody name is knows that Tottenham exist until we play them.
Well, one minute.
When
you think of Chelsea, do you think of Todd Bowley?
Sex?
Do you think of the fans, or do you think of Todd Bowley? Who do you think of? If I say Chelsea to you,
shit club. Well, you just think of. I don't really go either way. That's what she said. I know what you're getting at, but I would still just ignore him. I'm ignoring her. There's no point having an argument with someone over what's happened. When did he leave? 2019. It's 4 years ago now. So there has to come a point where it's like he's gone there. He's dug his own grave. He's at a club that are trying to rebuild and restructure with young players, and it's absolutely hilariously blowing up in their faces, and they've got a owner who is very kamikaze with his own money. But that's not our problem. He's not our problem anymore. And as I said earlier on in the podcast, he has developed this niche of not really coming out and saying, "I want player X, Y, Z." You just get the feel. I mean, and Ange in his first couple of weeks said, "No transfer goes through without my say-so," and you could get the gist of what he's saying as being true. But with Poch, it never happened. Now, look, I cannot hate Poch because of what he did for us. He almost got us a Champions League. He almost got us a Premier League title. He's not a bottler. He was just unfortunate that he never got more players in, which probably does come at his feet. But I mean, when he was our manager, life was great until the last, I'd say, year, when he started going, "Oh, Man United, oh, Real Madrid or Barcelona." Or he wouldn't go to Barcelona, and all that, and it just, I don't know. There's no point from my opinion, I wouldn't boo him. I'll just ignore him.
Yeah, I'm the same. You know, he's the Chelsea manager, and I'm not going to clap him. I will remember what he did. I'll never ever forget what he did for us, but I will never boo him. You know, because of what he did, but I'm not going to clap him either. Perch, over to you, mate.
You know full damn well what I'm going to say, because you've probably seen my tweet. So, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No, we should be booing him. He's Chelsea manager. He's John Terry. He's Frank Lampard. He's all of these ex-Chelsea managers. He's Jose Mourinho. He's Antonio Conte. All of this lot. He's now one of them. We boo him just for, listen, whatever. I'm one of these. I actually don't care that he's gone to Chelsea. I actually said fair play. Go on with it. Because I'm not that sentimental. I don't really give a shit, if I'm honest, about Pochettino. But only for the sense that he's Chelsea manager. I'm hearing people saying, "Nah, you don't know what you're talking about. Where's your respect?" Respect didn't do anything to us. I actually think I'm gonna say this really controversial now. I think Pochettino's overrated, and if he never managed at Tottenham, no one would give him the credit that everyone gives him at Tottenham. If he never managed, what's he done? What's he done to be considered this great thing that he's done? I don't think. Yes, he did well with us. Listen, I'm thankful for the work he's done at Tottenham. Thank you. We move on with life. But he's now Chelsea manager. Will you boo Chelsea managers? That's what we've done for decades. Whoever's in charge at Chelsea, we've booed. We booed Mourinho. We booed Conte, Lampard, Di Matteo. We booed all of these managers because they were Chelsea managers. I hope we batter them on Monday. I hope we absolutely batter him. I hope he gets sacked because of it, because of what we do at because of what he does. And I'm one of these. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not. He's Chelsea. He's not Magic. He's Chelsea. End of.
Strong words. Strong words. John, what do you think, mate?
I think I'm kind of I'm kind of in between you guys. I guess I have a question for James and Ross. Would your answer be different if Chelsea were first, second, third in the league?
No.
Nah.
No. So I guess I'm indifferent to him because he's Chelsea's manager. I mean, it is what it is. He's out there doing his thing. He did kind of go work for the enemy per se, but I'm also on. I kind of agree with Perchy in the sense that looking back, do I think he's the fantastic manager that some people give him credit for? I guess in my very limited experience, I don't see it. When people wanted to bring him back, I wasn't too excited about bringing him back either. I thought there was many other candidates that could have done just as good, if not better than he does. And obviously we got somebody that does do a better job. And then looking at his other stops in his career, I mean, what did he do at PSG? I think I could have managed my way into a title with that team.
He lost the league to Lille whilst having the likes of Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. He lost to Lille. Let's just put that into context, right?
And I think I'm still burned out of his last 6-8 months at the club right after the championship loss. It was so toxic. It looked like he had just given up. He had no soul left in those last months, and I think that's what burned me out.
He had given up. Given up.
Can I ask a question, because things are a bit hazy for me? Do you remember when we couldn't win away? Was that his last season? Or was that the Champions League run?
No, that was what that's where the Champions League papered over what was an absolute wretched season where we nearly went a whole calendar year without winning away from home, by the way.
But we still ended up fourth, right?
No, we finished. We did. No, we didn't. No, because
we were.
We weren't in.
We were in the Champions League when Mourinho took over. We were.
Yeah.
We were in weren't we in the?
No, we were.
League?
No.
Do
you remember the ball boy who flicked the ball to Aurier and we were like, yeah, that was a Champions League game.
Yeah.
I remember that because it was on the All or Nothing. I think the season.
The
problem with it.
Season after. I could be wrong.
No, because that was COVID then. And we had that weird period where we were playing a game every other 3 days or 2 days because we had to qualify for the Conference League. With that 18-19 season, I agree with everyone where that Champions League run papered over a lot of cracks, but I think it did more than paper over because it's a Champions League run. But we're right. We have to remember to stick up for Poch. He did really well at Southampton. He brought through a hell of a lot of young players that they sold for profit, which does seem to be their motif. But to say he's overrated, I don't know.
Ross,
as I said, he needs to... Go on.
No, I was just going to say, on that point about Southampton, I think he's a good manager for an okay team. I don't think he's at that elite level where you can go and... If he went to Real Madrid, he'd get absolutely swallowed up. I think he's showing that... Actually, what he was good at is a Southampton. At Tottenham at the time when he came to us, he was brilliant. Came in, redeveloped. But the one thing he couldn't do was get us over the line. And it's shown. He goes to PSG, couldn't really do it. He shows that he went, and then he's gone to Chelsea, and it's showing very, very quickly that he can't get over the line. He's a good manager, not a great manager.
Yeah, he's definitely not up there with like Ancelotti and all them type managers. He's definitely nowhere near that level. Yeah. He's a good manager. I do agree with that actually, Perch. I think you're right. I think he's good at coming into a club and really getting them going, which is... I think going to Chelsea was such an odd decision by him because of the nature of Chelsea, whether it was under...
nowhere to go, really. There was no one that wanted him. Let's be real about it.
He should have waited out for Man United. I think he...
Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
I think he would have done all right at Man U because I think he may have... I don't know. Would he... I don't know, but I think he would have had a better chance at things at Manchester United than he would have at Chelsea.
He would have. But you know what would have happened at Man U? So look at where they are in their process right now. They are looking to get a new training ground. They're looking to get a new stadium. These things are not cheap. And so he may have had a few seasons where he did all right, but then comes the massive expenditure of that infrastructure, and he's back at square one again. Do you know what I mean, Ross?
Yeah.
Ross has gone to get his towels. Fair enough.
No.
I mean,
I was just trying to think of something to say. I think with Poch, and we're talking too much about it, and we should be focusing on our big cuddly Australian man. With Poch, I think he's reached a kind of, I don't know, is he losing interest? He's not as vibrant as he used to be. He was so happy and go lucky at Spurs, but since he's been at Chelsea, he's just not been the same person.
I think you could say the same when it was the same with PSG. It was the same way, Ross. I think when he came from PSG, it looked like a hollow man of a used to
John,
be success.
Do you know the one? There's one key word there though. That there's a massive difference. What it was like at Tottenham, than it was like at PSG and Chelsea. Pressure. At PSG, there's pressure to go and win the major trophies. At Chelsea, whether we like it or not, there's pressure to go and win the big trophies at Chelsea. Their fans expect it. At Tottenham, when he came to Tottenham, there's no pressure. At Southampton, there was no pressure at the time. That's the difference, right? And you notice when I think Pochettino did overachieve to a certain extent at Tottenham, but when it got to that level where actually now the pressure's on to go and win one of the biggest trophies, didn't do it. Go and win the league, didn't do it. And that's the key bit, that when it mattered, he didn't get that moment. Whether we like it, we look at cup finals. He put Heung-min Son at left wing back at one point. I think we need to remember things like that. So I think certain aspects of it all, right? And listen, I think the manager. Listen, I'm one of these. I'm not sentimental. I'm not one of these that sits there and goes, "Oh, he was so amazing." Who cares? We've got a better manager, in my opinion. Now we've got a manager that can actually galvanise this team right now. Think about that than worrying about our ex from years ago. Mm-hmm. I just think it's all a bit weird. You don't hear it from other fan bases, right? I don't hear other fan bases go on about an ex-manager like we do as a fan base.
Ooh.
Not everyone, of course.
No, I was going to say, you speak to Manchester United fans at the minute, they'll be like, well, please, Fergie, come back.
But they don't sit there. No, but there's a massive difference there. Fergie won absolutely everything at Man United. Pochettino won nothing at Tottenham. Like, do you know what I mean? One day Ramos won more silverware at Tottenham than Pochettino. I'm not saying it's as equal as that. It doesn't work like that. But do you see my point?
I think with Fergie, though, it was a different era, wasn't it? Because, I mean, he was so close to being sacked in about 89, 90. And then they lost the league on the last day to Leeds the season before the Premier League. And even then, so many questions. But he got the 1990 FA Cup win with the famous Mark Robins goal that allegedly saved him. And he went from strength to strength. He kind of used the Premier League and the money that was being generated. And getting Cantona was his blue touch, lighting the blue touch paper part. Looking back at Poch's reign I still think it's nice to look back now and again because we played some really good football. I mean, I love the way that you look at the team, the way he played with the fullbacks. I loved it, seeing Rose and Walker bomb on, and then Trippier and a more quicker Davies. It was great, and we had a great team. The problem is we just never had anything to back it up with, and that's where I kind of question whether he's gone to Levy and said, "Look, we need player X, Y, and Z," or Levy's gone, "Look, I can give you player A, B, and C," and he's gone, "No." You kind of need to meet in the middle with these things. I'm not saying that you devalue your own principles, but have some leeway because it's Levy, for fuck's sake. He's not going to back down that much.
I agree with that. I agree with that. The ownership of the football club is the sole purpose, but the manager has to take certain responsibilities as well. Is my point. I agree with you.
Yeah, but just to answer your question, James, I just ignore him.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he's the Chelsea manager. So, look, the thing is, let's not forget that Poch, I believe, John, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the reason, most probably, why you became a Spurs fan. Right?
Yeah,
Nearly 10
he
years ago.
was here. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't here before that. So yep, he is the manager of my Tottenham birth.
That's right. And before we get on to Chelsea, we'll talk about Athina in a minute after that. But yeah, Postecoglou is the reason why she's become a Spurs fan. So there you go. Right, who's gonna jot down the potential results? Ross, what do you think? What do you think it's going to be?
I got it.
I am going 3-1 to Spurs.
Perchy?
Oh gosh. 2-1.
John?
You guys aren't going to like me, but I'm going to say 2-2.
Yeah. I wouldn't
It's
be
gone for
against
it.
it.
Don't like John.
It's gone for a Desmond. So I think it's going to be 4-2, and I'll tell you why. Chelsea don't like it if you play high up. So if you are continuously pressing them, I'm stealing this off Football Weekly. I think it's Football Weekly, one with James Richardson. And what the guys said on there, and it's so true, is that when you really press them hard, they don't know what to do, which is weird for a Pochettino team, that they don't know what to do. But it's there to see that they don't. They actually don't know what to do when you press them high. When you allow them to have space and allow them to come onto you, you saw what they did in the Arsenal game. But when you don't allow that, and I really hope that we won't. By the way, are we at home or away?
It's a home.
Right.
Monday night, under the lights.
Right, under the lights. So I actually think we might. Oh, I don't know. Should I say 4-2? I know, John, you've just posted it. Yeah, let's say 4-2, because do I believe that we're going to score 4 goals now that I've said it? Maybe not. Maybe it'll be 3-2. So you can put
I think
a caveat for that.
At home. I think at home we'll have a bit of an edge. I think.
No, they're a bin fire, mate. They're all over the shop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but nothing. Yeah, but we say this now, and then like it's one of those. I don't think we've been as amazing as everyone made out to be recently in the last few games. I think we've got over the line against some very, very poor sides, but we need to. These are poor, by the way. Chelsea are poor. We need. There should be no reason why we shouldn't be beating these, but I think we've limped over the line against some relatively poor sides recently. So I think we have to really up our game.
Are you coming around to my way of thinking, where that's what I've been saying for the last few games?
What?
Because what you've just said, I think that we are experiencing our blip. You know, when people said that we're going to have a bit of a blip under Postecoglou, I think this is it. Because even Postecoglou, we didn't mention this when we did the pod after the Fulham game. Hasn't he? Yeah, he did. He came out and said it, and for him to say it to the press means that he's saying it to them, and he's trying to get them out of this little slump. Although I did love the passing at the back against Palace, and I started laughing in that shithole of a bar that I was in Grand Bay in Mauritius, when the Palace players were just watching. They were watching Van der Ven and Romero, and then Vicario joined in. They're doing a triangle, and they didn't do anything. And then their fans, and the funniest thing was that a lot of people on Twitter were saying, why are their fans booing the Spurs players? They weren't. They were booing their own players. Show some passion, go after the ball, press, do something. They were just there. This thing must have gone on for 2.5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I'm not surprised that the ref added the X amount of minutes at the end of the game because of that. It's like, well, you know, guys, if only one team's playing, I'm going to add on a few minutes. Because it was, that was so embarrassing. I actually haven't seen that in years. I haven't seen a team seem to dominate, not really dominate, but you know what I mean, dominate the ball and the possession so much. And then the opposing fans then start to boo. I found that really, really funny. Ross, is your washing machine stopped? Or is it still spinning?
Still spinning?
Yeah, that's the answer. So,
I thought it was his personal massager under the chair.
It wouldn't be under the chair, mate. It's
Oh, that's true. It'd be bouncing against the microphone.
Yeah, like always.
On my face.
Yeah, all over your face. Yeah. So how's it going with the indoctrination of Athina? Well, it's going really well, and she even left us a voice message, which was really funny. I asked her a question in Mauritius. She's not here anymore, and she's fully Kois, which is interesting. I didn't expect it to be this much, but yeah, it is what it is. So the Catholic indoctrination approach does work, right? So if anyone wants to convert anyone who's not a football fan, let alone a Spurs fan, then just read up on how the Catholic Church did it in Africa, and you'll find...
I think we should do this to more people. I think it should be a regular series where we choose one person and figure out who it's going to be.
I think we should. In fact, if any of you want to write in. So what is our email address? coys@hotspurway.com. And if you want to nominate someone who you believe that we should try and convert into a Spurs fan, obviously they shouldn't support a football team. But yeah, if you want to do that, then just write into us or tweet us, Hotspur Way Show on X, and we'll get that done. Right, so is there any other business from anyone? Perchy, what are you up to, mate?
A lot of stuff coming soon with me. There's a lot of bits coming soon. Tomorrow, check it out. There's a lot of stuff coming on. I can't because you're bringing this out today, so I can't. Or are you bringing it out tomorrow?
No, tonight.
Yeah, so I can't announce it now. But on I'll let you guys know. If you follow me on X, you'll find out very soon tomorrow. But there's something tomorrow coming on with me. It's just this sort of periods in between games are starting to really rattle me. Like we had to do the whole Friday to Monday. No, sorry, Monday to whatever it was, and then we played on the late kickoff on the Friday to then the Monday, or whatever it was. Monday to Friday. Now on another Monday. Why can't we just play on a weekend? It's really irritating me.
We got
at least your doggy should be fit for next Monday. I think if we were playing, who else is a bit of a doubt? I can't think of anyone. No, we should be alright. But then
hopefully Richarlison is. You'd hope. Sorry, apologies. I know we're wrapping up. I do apologise, but it had to be said.
6 days, right? From today, Tuesday till next Monday, yeah. We've got to wait six more days.
6 days to go, yeah.
So what we're saying is that on the weekend, we might not be top, basically.
Well, no, but I think this is the key bit. Sorry to sort of go on. I think when everyone said about us being 5 points top, I didn't get massively excited because I knew it meant that when we've played against Palace, everyone around us is going to play twice. So that's a 6 point swing, right? If they win them. And you'd expect Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool to win their game. I think actually Arsenal's the toughest game who've got to play Newcastle, right? So I think I might be right in saying that. So I just thought it's too early to say, isn't it? I think everyone got really excited. Oh, we're 5 points clear. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is exciting. Look, they're all in the Champions League this week, aren't they? So I expect...
It's not. No, it's EFL Cup weekend.
Oh, is it?
It's Carabao Cup. And Man City aren't in it, by the way. And neither are Liverpool.
Arsenal are going to play West Ham because, what's his name? West Ham. Arteta was like, no, Rice will get a really nice reception when he goes back to West Ham.
He won't. No, he won't. Don't think so.
He will, because they love him. They love each other. Don't forget that little triangle of love. Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham. They all have their hands in each other's pants.
I think it'll
be a little bit. He got them 100 million. He's not even worth that.
Yeah, I guess.
Not at all.
Well. Hopefully, one of their Martinelli or Jesus is out for another month, isn't he?
Is
yeah. But they got we laugh, but their second striker goes and scores goals. Ours doesn't.
True, but so what Ross is saying is that Jesus will be back when his washing machine stops. Basically, that's what I've understood.
I can hear it now.
Yeah. He keeps muting himself. He's trying to hide the evidence. I hope those towels end up being really. I hope they're nice and
Bullies.
fluffy, right? I really hope they're fluffy. And do you pleasure yourself in those towels? Is that why you've given them such special treatment?
God,
Is that
what is up with you today, James? You're all about the wanking.
I never win. I haven't said that word.
It's all gone a bit weird.
I haven't said that word
Is that the
once.
title of the show?
I don't know what we're going to call
Jaymes,
this
it's
show.
all about wanking.
Call it Master Bates.
Unbelievable.
I will actually, yeah. Let's call it Master Bates. That's fantastic. John, anything else, mate? Anything happening over there that you want to tell us about?
Not for me, but I do have a breaking story on X. According to what I can see, it looks like in Tijuana next week, Perchy is going to be featured at Diego's Donkey Show. That's what he didn't want to bring out tomorrow.
Sorry, what? Sorry. Have I just been absolutely done in by John here? Amazing.
John, man, showing his true colours this week.
Boy.
If he's not whacking his mic against the wall, bloody hell.
The funny, I tell you, look, the problem that I have is I've got a really visual mind, and so when someone says this, I can picture now, like I can picture this 80s couch where Perchy's he's naked and he's spread over it, and you see these guys in these wrestling masks, and they've got the cam and it's a shaky cam, and then what happens is they bring in this donkey, and the donkey looks over and he looks at Perch and he bends over, and this is all happening right now in my brain. This is so funny. And sorry, Perch. I mean, is this the news? Is he left? Is he?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine.
Jesus Christ, guys.
You went really high pitched then. I mean, that's the noise you would make. I mean, let's be honest. Shall we end the show on what Athina said about Spurs?
Go on.
Who's going to do it? Ross, over to you. Hold on 1 minute.
Shit.
Shut up, Siri.
Right.
How funny. She's literally just messaged me. Just now.
Hold on.
Sorry.
So, Athina, tell me which football team you support.
Tottenham Hotspurs. Come on, you Spurs!
There.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
And Ross apparently, because Athina's now listening to this, or she will. Ross, you've got a thing for Athina, right?
Oh, massive. Well, not that massive, but it's...
Oh, here we go.
He's got as massive as he can give.
We go.
Oh,
Cut the show.
Valise is playing for the under-21s tonight. He's starting, actually. That's interesting.
Beautiful.
Just to bring it back to that football thing we do.
Did we lose James?
no, you didn't. I was just about to say that's been the fighting cock. See you later, guys. Bye.
Wow.
Sorry, Perch.
I know you don't have to apologise. Just know you're targeted for next week. Don't you worry.
That's fine. That's fine.
John,
I come alive when I'm targeted.
Oh,
That was
Perch, don't forget John was
so
flashing his
funny.
massive cock in the chat.
He was, wasn't he? Oh God!
Bastard got away with that.
I know. And John, I didn't realise you had such small legs. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know how you stay vertical with a cock like that and with legs like that. I
Big
don't
red
know.
cock
I
as
mean,
well.
It's awful.
Yeah, I use the cock as a tripod. I just kind of wedge it against
dear.
things to stay up.
No wonder your microphone doesn't work. Right. See you later for the second time.
Oh,
Perchy.
peace.
Bye.
What was that?
Okay, bye.